Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for joining me again. Back in the story. The cafe was just another in the long line of the real big beasts we had. Because, like I said, there was just some beasts we had building this place, getting it together. It was not easy at all. But the cafe had so many of its own problems. Because, again, we had to develop a menu. We had to create the ebb and flow. I mean, I did. The first rendition of the menu the owner came up with. But, again, it was basic. It was made by someone who got a handful of frozen chicken, a handful of frozen potatoes, threw it on a pan, and it was going to make that a plate. It's like, no, man, you got to portion this stuff out. Like with the chicken, I knew first thing I'm going to do is take control of costs. So I bought portion bags, and I portioned out all the items. Everything, like the chicken came in, I figured out how many portions came in per box. For potatoes, same thing. So this is how I started to manage the food cost. The cheese bites. We had mozzarella sticks at first, but we called them mummy fingers because we didn't have a fryer. We had these pizza ovens, these standard pizza ovens we got from Web Restaurant, and an air fryer and an oven, but nothing really browned them, golden browned right. We tried a couple different things, but it just didn't work. I mean, maybe eventually we gave some time to figure it out, but it just didn't work. Like I said, we called them mummy fingers as a joke. They tasted great, but they just looked terrible. We went with cheese curds instead, and those worked great because they were already a little golden brown anyway, so it didn't take much to toast them. Just had to be careful in melting them. But again, as soon as one came in, portioned and I did everything by weight. All portioned. Well, not yeah, chicken tenders too. There were most everything was weight. There was 7 ounces chicken tenders, 5 ounces for most everything else, like the sides, cheese curds, 5 ounces, stuff like that. And I was real big about not wasting stuff, like the nachos we had. The problem with the nachos was they always have these little bits in the very bottom, little crumbled up little bits of nachos that were broken down. So I created a plate called the goblin salad, and I would use them as a garnish across the top of the goblin salad to give it a crunch. So what else did I do? Just trying to. Oh, we did have hot dogs too, just basic hot dogs. We tried to get sandwiches in. That was the biggest problem. It was a running joke for a while. We kept saying it'd be 2 weeks, like from the money pit, because we could never get the materials, the bread, the meats for the sandwiches. So we had them on the menu, but they just didn't exist, so we couldn't sell them at first. The sandwiches eventually became pizzas. So it's like the Phoenix Rises was like what do you call it? A hot, like a hot buffalo pizza or sandwich, but it became a hot buffalo pizza. So it's like we just converted stuff. And then for the food prep station, I developed all of that. I got the little Lexans to put everything in, the compost to put everything in, set it all up with items that needed to go, what would work, what wouldn't, how much of everything. Created the setup downstairs, and I put stickers on everything too because I wasn't playing around. It's like I was trying to make this as idiot-proof as possible. Like even the menu prep book. Oh shit, I still got one. Hold up. This is what I'm talking about, the menu prep book. Like table of contents, step-by-step guide, every single item. Like you get a pan, spray the pan, brush the pan. Like it wasn't no joke. The only problem was like things like, and again, it evolved. Well, like with the burrito was a perfect example. I did a step-by-step guide how to build the burrito, then how to prep the burrito. But it didn't work as it opened up because we needed to freeze the burritos. So that split them in two. So there was like a food prep guide and a menu presentation build. So one book was designed to how to make burritos, how to prep food. Like this is like if you're going to prep a box of chicken tenders, this is how much it weighs, this is how many you should get out, because there was a problem I was having for a while where employees were just fudging the numbers. So instead of getting, because like with the steak and the chicken, the steak especially because it's expensive, by weight I could pull 17 out of a box where I had employees pulling out 14 to 15. No, son, you're screwing my food cost at that point. And it was just laziness. But that comes down the road. As for now, it was about just trying to build everything out. Trying to find out how the shelvings worked. Like I said, put sticker labels in everything. We had to have a ebb and flow from everything that came in. Brought it in, we prepped it, put it in the freezer. From the freezer, we figured out how much we needed. Well, I figured out how much we needed to bring into the refrigerator because we couldn't cook it frozen. Takes longer, so we have to let it thaw. So I bought these little containers from Amazon that we used to every time. It was like a magazine to me. Like I said, everything to me was like ammo. The pans, we had like about 20. So once they were used, I had to clean them immediately and reset. where other employees were just sitting there lounging around, let them in there cakey and greasy, and would just talk to their friends when they should be cleaning. Granted, this wasn't yet because we didn't have any employees, but again, I was building that ebb and flow. So the thing was, I knew what I was saying could be done. They would use excuses with me later, but I knew they were full of shit because I was doing it by myself. If I can do it by myself, they can do it with the team. But anyways, like I said, it was about creating the ebb and flow where as soon as the food came in, freezer, brought it into the refrigerator, plate it, present it out the door, because one thing about it is we weren't cooking food. We were a level 2 cafe, so everything was raw. I mean, not raw, and nothing was raw. So that meant that we weren't cooking, so everything had to be presentation for me. Because if we're not cooking, we're not creating a flavor unique to anything. We're just heating food up. So in the menu book, it even shows presentation. This is exactly how the plate, this is where the sauce goes. This is how the garnish goes. So to make it look its best as possible, because the owner was adamant, this is a destination location. When we get people here, we're going to fuck them with the prices. Those were his words. We're not going to build we're going to build a community. We're going to take care of people. No, it was like, we're going to fuck them with the prices. And it's relevant because per food cost, nothing was less than 50% markup. Like even to the pretzel, the one pretzel we had, the giant pretzel, it cost $5 with the 5-ounce cup of cheese. We sold it for $16.99. Like a $12 markup for a pretzel. But again, nobody really knew that, and two, it was about that's why I made it about presentation, because if we're charging that much money, it's got to look good. But the other employees are just lazy. They didn't care. So that's what's the frustrating part. It's like, come on, just give a damn, But again, it's like I said, this cafe was something new and unusual for me because I'd worked kitchens before, but I've never got to build one. And one thing that I really was important to me was one thing that frustrated me in the whole kitchen world, because I've worked in many, many kitchens. And anytime I open a shift, I spend the first 45 minutes to an hour looking for my gear that I need to start the shift with. And it's like I tell that to management. Management never does anything about it. It's like the people at night should reset stuff to where as soon as you walk in the door, you're ready to go. But they don't. They just leave stuff all over the place because they just want to get out of there. This place was different. I made sure everything had a home, and when you were done using it, it went back to its damn home. That way, nobody was wasting time looking for stuff because there was no time for it. We had a skeleton crew. I mean, as of right now, it's just me and the owner. This was January of 2022 maybe, or 23? Was it 22 or 23? I don't remember. I think it was 2023. Because it was the first year. Yeah, it was the first year we opened up. So yeah, 2023. But like I said, it was just me and the owner at this time. So I was just trying to figure out, like, we're still running the store. I was still selling. We get inventory coming in. I still got to talk about that. Because we had, like I said, the cafe was one of the first charges I had, where I'm sitting trying to run this cafe, but I'm also now trying to create the store ebb and flow, trying to get the inventory in. Because we had a good thing with Ken. He helped us out, he gave us information we needed. He sent us stuff. He even took us to, or he didn't take us, but he invited us to their trade show. So for 2 years, I went down to their trade show. It caught COVID at the first one. It was down in Biloxi, Mississippi, which was amazing. Great time. Could have done without the COVID. But the second time was in Florida, and that was amazing too. Or maybe in South Alabama. I don't know, somewhere by the water. Both were by the water, actually. But like I said, they really took care of us. They really cared, and they really helped. But for the kitchen-wise, let's see, where was I at? Sorry, like I said, sorry for being a shitty storyteller. It's a lot of reminiscing. But, like I said, it's at the end of the day, it's going to be important. But the kitchen was going well. I think in the next video, I'm going to get into the inventory. I mean, I'm probably going to jump back to the kitchen because, like I said, it was completely evolving. It didn't stop. But none of this stuff did. It was just one hit after another. But again, thank you for your time. I'll get into the next video. And I hope you guys are having a great day. And thank you for spending your time with me. I know it doesn't seem like it's worth it right now. But once it's done, like I said, each video is a brushstroke. Once everything is done, it'll make a lot more sense. Thank you.